I'm looking into my crystal ball to predict Amigurumi's biggest trends for 2023. You probably already guessed, but this is not a crystal ball. This is my Christmas snow globe, and this is my essential oil diffuser, and I've got a really nice scent going on in here right now. But we are going to be deep diving into Amigurumi trends? But we are going to be deep diving into Amigurumi trends for 2023. And before I share all of my opinions with you, I would love to know, what do you think is going to be trending and popular and huge in the next year? The biggest change that I think we're going to see with Amigurumi is going to be about color. There's been a trend in recent years to make Amigurumi in very muted tones, soft colors, almost monochromatic. And I think that's going to be a big change going forward. I think we're going to start seeing Amigurumi made with very unexpected, non-traditional colors. And one of the biggest trendsetters in our craft is Lion brand yarns, and they come out with a color of the year every single year, and 2022's color is Golden Sunshine. We've had a rough few years, and this Golden Sunshine yellow is really sparking inspiration and hope within all of us, and I know that we're going to continue to see that beautiful yellow color going all the way through the end of this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they chose another bright and cheerful color for 2023. Etsy is another great place to look for upcoming trends. They have an email called Etsy Marketplace Insights, and it is a great place to look for the trends that they are predicting. And what they do is look for their search volume to discover what people are interested in, and they look for those search terms that have spiked recently. They are predicting that bright colors are not going to wind down after the summer is over, but they are going to continue into the fall season. Don't expect shoppers to tone things down too much even as summer winds down. This year's fall season could be unusually colorful as bright shades show no signs of retreating. We anticipate shoppers will continue turning to bold, playful tones to brighten their homes, closets, and moods. Etsy is also predicting that hot pink is going to be hotter than ever. Yarn companies are one of the best ways that we as Amigurumi makers can stay up to date on the latest trends for colors. Premier Yarns is one of my favorite yarn companies, and they just came out with 3 brand new colors for their anti-pilling everyday worsted, and it's bright pink, highlighter, and bright green. These are some neon, bright, bold, cheerful colors, and that's another indication that we're going to see brighter and bolder colors in our Amigurumi in the near future. Natasha from Natura Crochet is the perfect example of using these bright, bold colors in her Amigurumi designs. All of her Amigurumi are packed full of beautiful, bright, bold colors, and she has a brand new book, Aquatic Amigurumi, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this book. Look at all of these aquatic creatures, and I love these happy, bright, sunshiny colors. Another place that I like to look for Amigurumi trends is in the fashion and home decor industries. They really are the trend setters for us all, and one of the trends that I am loving so much right now is called Coastal Grandmother. And if you haven't heard of it before, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It is so casual and effortless, and it is oh so gorgeous. Home and Garden magazine describes Coastal Grandmother like this: defined by the use of natural light, high quality natural materials, a soft color palette, and an abundance of foliage and flowers. This really is the opposite of the bright, bold colors that we talked about earlier. If you're an Amigurumi seller and you live in a coastal area, I have a feeling that any type of beach themed toy, especially in those beautiful coastal shades like blues and grays, tan colors, off-whites, soft yellows, they will be super popular. And I've got 2 patterns to share with you that would be perfect for that coastal grandmother vibe. Ingrid the Octopus is one of my favorite Amigurumi patterns of all time. This is such a beautiful octopus, and I don't think I've ever used that phrase before in my entire life. But look at her in that vintage pink color and her coral reef headband. I just think this one one is so beautiful. This was designed by Off the Beaten Hook, and I just think it perfectly exemplifies the whole coastal grandmother vibe. I love the colors. I love everything about it. It is so cute, and I love the pinks and the yellow and the gray all together. They just look gorgeous. And you'll find a link to that pattern in the description box below. The next coastal grandmother pattern that I found is Pelagius the Narwhal by Fillet Crochet. I fell in love with this little narwhal the very minute that I saw him, her. It was so cute, and I love that little smiling face in the heart-shaped cheeks. I just thought it was so cute. It just made me happy to see it, and I definitely wanted to share it with you guys, and you'll find a link to the pattern in the description box below as well. I don't know about you, but I am seeing granny squares everywhere, and I think that these will continue to be a trend into 2023. I know that we've been seeing them on the runway, we've been seeing them in our local shops, and even my daughters who are not into crocheting and knitting really at all, they are into granny squares. And I can see that this may start to spill over into amigurumi. I can just imagine a little fox in a granny square coat. How adorable would that be? This next trend is already very popular right now, but I do think that it's going to continue to gain momentum into 2023, and that is Cottage Core. Cottage Core is a social media hashtag and internet-based lifestyle trend inspired by a quaint vision of country life. Based on an idealized back-to-nature concept of simpler times, its romanticized aesthetics center on natural materials, wholesome pastimes, handmade crafts, homemade baked goods, gardening, and other hallmarks of bucolic domesticity. And that quote was from The Spruce, and I could not agree more. I love the Cottage Core style. I love everything about it. I love the natural, handmade, back to simpler times vision that it gives us all. And these are some of my favorite patterns that are Cottage Core inspired. The Mushroom Fairy by Sedap is one of my favorite amigurumi projects that I have ever made. She has a beautiful duck egg blue dress with mustard accents and pops of cherry red. Her little mushroom hat is oversized and oh so cute. Look at this little mushroom cottage. Oh my goodness, this gives me all the feels. I love it so much. If I could design my own dream house, this would be it. I would love to live in a mushroom cottage, and I love the little acorn lantern, and I love the little snail on the roof. I just think it is so cute. It's so whimsical. It's so Cottage Core. The flower sprite dolls are so sweet and simple, and I love them so much. You can change the petals that are around the little face, and you can make them pointed, or you can make them rounded, or you could make them both, which is what I would definitely do. I just think these are such precious little dolls, and I could see children loving these, and they are so Cottage Core inspired. I just think they are so beautiful, and you'll find a link to the pattern in the description box below. Nothing says Cottage Core more than Anne with an E, and this version of Anne with an E is one of the most amazing detailed amigurumi doll patterns that I have ever seen. I love this one so much. This may be one of my future upcoming projects because I made another Anne of Green Gables doll before, and I'm going to tell you a story of how I came to know all about Anne of Green Gables. I had been in an accident when I was 14 years old, and I was pretty banged up, and I had to stay home from school, and we lived in this beautiful little town in Florida. Back in the 80s, we didn't have cable. We didn't really have anything like that because we literally lived in a town of 450 people in Central Florida, and if you've ever heard of it, it's called McIntosh, Florida. It's a beautiful little town. I was recuperating in my mom's bedroom, and she happened to turn on the TV to PBS, and there was this brand new show that I had never seen before, and it was Anne of Green Gables. I had never read the books, I had never heard of her before, and I just fell in love with this spunky redhead, and I loved everything about her, and she's held such a special place in my heart ever since. So this pattern really is special to me, and I just love it. Look at how gorgeous it is. I'm so impressed with these amigurumi designers, and you'll find a link to this pattern in the description box below. Another amigurumi trend that I think is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger is fan art. I recently did a video all about Stranger Things inspired patterns, and I was amazed at how many fan art patterns were out there, and I think that that's just going to continue into 2023, and I actually think it's going to get even bigger. And these are a couple of my new favorite patterns. Amigurumi fan art made international national news a few years ago with the Bernie Sanders Amigurumi doll by Toby Time Crochet. I don't know if you remember seeing it on headline news. It was everywhere, and I kept thinking, oh my goodness, I cannot believe Amigurumi is making big time news right now. But it was really fun because it actually really captured Bernie Sanders. Whether you love him or you hate him, it looks exactly like Bernie Sanders with that windswept hair and those knitted mittens that he had. It was just such a fun representation of a real person. And one of the best amigurumi designers who's doing this over and over again is Crafty Is Cool. And one of my favorites that she did was Mr. Rogers with the puppets. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this pattern so much. I loved Mr. Rogers when I was a little girl. He was always so gentle, and I loved the puppets, and I loved the train, and I loved everything about him. And I just think that this pattern looks so much like him. It's the essence of Mr. Rogers, and I love all the details, and I can't believe she actually even crocheted the little puppet. So look at Crafty Is Cool and all of the amazing fan art she does. I actually saw on her Instagram not that long ago that she had made a Snoop Dogg amigurumi doll, and she sent it to him somehow, and he shared it on his Instagram, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's amazing. It's really cool when you see amigurumi get into the mainstream, because some people think it's weird that I sit down in my basement and talk about making toys. But anyway, I know you guys all understand what it's like to be obsessed with crocheting, amigurumi, knitting toys and dolls, but not everyone understands it, and when it makes it out into the big world, it's really, really fun. Don't forget to let me know what your amigurumi trend predictions are for 2023, and let me know which one of these patterns was your favorite. But stay safe out there and happy stitching.